The questions surrounding Tower of God Season 2 are complex, and the fans are eager to find answers. But don't worry. This is because we have got you covered. After getting a renewal in August 2022, it seems like the makers forgot to release any updates. The merger of Crunchyroll and Funimation has also hindered the animation processes to a certain extent. Will this delay the production of this sequel? How soon will the second season be released? All updates are right here for you. When is Tower of God Season 2 coming out? Well, sooner than you expect. The original webtoon Manhwa first launched in June 2010 and went on until July 2022. In these 12 years, the story has released more than 12 volumes. CU is the writer and illustrator of the text. In 2020, Studio Telecom Animation Film brought out the first anime for the story. This also was an instant hit. But due to the pandemic, the second season's production process is going through a crunch at the moment. While it is only now that the manhwa has gone into an indefinite hiatus, the anime continued to entertain the fans. Starting April 1st, 2020, the season was an instant hit. It certainly was a miss in terms of animation and quality of production, but the story and direction paid up for it. Well, the last episode from Season 1 aired on June 24th, 2020. After this, there was no news from the makers. It took the company almost 2 years to bring Tower of God Season 2 to the floors. The delay was due to the production schedule as well as the pandemic restrictions. There was a lack of cash flow in the entire industry, leading to the shows getting delayed or shelved. As a result of this, it was on August 6, 2022, that the Crunchyroll Expo brought the announcement of the much-awaited sequel, Tower of God Season 2. Also read, Tower of God Ending Explained. Why did Rachel betray Bam? The production and animation work was under Telecom Animation Film Studio. This company is a subsidiary of TMS Entertainment, which is known for works like Dr. Stone and Rent a Girlfriend. Not a lot of fans are aware of this, but this company has a long-stretched history dating back to the late 1970s. Lupin III, Part 2, was the first show under the banner. Since then, the company has brought out hundreds of shows and movies. However, it only works on 1 or 2 seasons per year. In 2020, Tower of God was the only show that the studio picked up that year. After the COVID restrictions were lifted, it got into the business again and started releasing 2 anime per year. As for 2023, 4 Knights of the Apocalypse and Rick and Morty the anime are in the slate for TAFs. Thus, it lessens the chances of getting a new season for TOG here. However, the August update of the Crunchyroll Expo confirms that this show was in production. One team of the company is already working on Tower of God Season 2. Considering the criticism of animation for Season 1, the team would be heeding all the details so as to make the season look more appealing. The latter chapters of the manga were also a visual delight, and SIU did a remarkable job at the illustration part of it. The same quality is expected of this studio. On August 6, 2022, Crunchyroll's own panel sat with an audience and made the official announcement for Tower of God Season 2. Along with this, a proper teaser was also released in the public domain. There was a blunder from the PR team as well. One of the team members leaked the information of Season 2 in the public domain even before the panel event. But after the announcement, the tweets and video were re-released as official words. A visual poster is also out in the public domain. With this, Webtoon also brings out its first graphic novel for the fans. The tweets are right here for you. However, with the title Crunchyroll Original associated with, the season remains to be under all the questions. The past of this animation wing has not been very promising. This is the sole reason the delay is grabbing all a wrong eyes. It was in the last week of July 2022 that Chapter 550 came out. In the last panel of the chapter, SEU gave a big shock to his fans. The artist confirmed that the manga was going on an indefinite hiatus. This came as a shock, and most of the fans continued to search for the next chapter. Since then, the manga has been out of the news. On May 1st, 2023, the manhwa was in the list of top 5 most read manhwa on webtoon. In fact, more and more fans are joining the fandom. However, the studio and the creators of the manhwa do not pay justice to this loyal fandom. But the one thing that they can be assured about is that the show does not have to depend on the availability of source material, as there is more than enough content to feed 2 to 3 seasons in a row. As mentioned, Tower of God continues to be on the list of the top 5 most read manhwa on webtoon, even after being on hiatus for 1 year. Written by SIU, this action fantasy story began on June 30th, 2010. There are 12 volumes of the story so far. And the anime by Crunchyroll came out on April 1st, 2020. A total of 550 chapters have come out in the story so far. Of these chapters, only the first 78 are in use for the first season of 13 episodes. This confirms that Tower of God will be an extensive plot. There can be 5 seasons at the least with all this content. But such a show requires fast production, and a fandom supports the work year after year. The makers are taking things slow and making judgments based on what the reception is. Likewise, only the reception of Season 2 will project if there will be a third one. Also read Top 10 Most Hated Anime Characters of All Time. The Tower of God is essentially the story of Bam and a tower. The world is brought down to a tower with multiple floors and a hierarchy of beings. And there lives the residue of powerless beings who live beneath the vast of the tower. Meet Bam, a boy who only knows Rachel in his life. A mysterious girl who helped Bam when he was found alone and hungry at the helm of the tower. But one day, the girl left him to climb the tower out of aspiration. And this was the motivation for Bam to climb the tower and find the girl of his dreams. But as he crossed one hurdle after the other, it turned out that Bam was nothing like the other people. There was something special about him. As the season came to an end, we saw in the last episode that Rachel only thought that the tower was calling for her. However, it was Bam that the tower was inviting. But Hedon gave her a chance to climb the tower only if she defeated Bam with her bare hands. The duel, at last, was one of the most heart-wrenching scenes to watch. And at the end of it all, Rachel pushes Bam off the tower trying to kill him. But we only find that Bam is alive and is now willing to climb once again to find his own answers. With this, Tower of God Season 2 will open with Bam finding one answer after the other. The biggest reveal here will be that Rachel is only a pawn in the bigger game that is commencing in the tower. Bam is the target of them all. And the person behind will only be found through Princess Yuri. Thus, the first half of Tower of God Season 2 will take a look at Bam and Yuri's interactions and introductions. Along with this, the climb to the tower will continue the way it does. Ja Wang-nan will be a character who will be by Bam's side for a longer time. Bam and this boy will meet along the lines of the 20th floor. This only indicates that the release is nearing. The fall of 2023 is sure to be one of the most amazing slates of this year. Even after the merger of Crunchyroll and Funimation, a lot of time has passed, and the new season must be on the verge of completion. Soon, the official updates will start arriving on the floors. The Anime Daily is the place where you will find all of those right away. Thus, keep an eye on this space for all the official details.